You will heard about these terms called SQL and NoSQL, but you don't know what is the difference between this NoSQL and SQL. Then this video for you. Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see the difference between NoSQL and SQL. So maybe you will heard about these terms called SQL and NoSQL, but you don't know what is the difference between this NoSQL and SQL. Then this video for you. So we are going to see the difference between this SQL and NoSQL. So what is the difference between this NoSQL and SQL is just a tabular format and the language or querying and data manipulations. Things are different than SQL database. So if you take a SQL database, so it's a tabular format. You can see the tables and that is linked with other tables, and we say that as this is a foreign key, this is a primary key is the primary database key, and if it is linked with a different table, that we are saying that is a relationship between these two, and one to many relationship, many to one relationship, many to many relationship. We heard about those things. So this is all about SQL database. So if you take a SQL database, SQL we can SQL database management system, we can get SQL, MS SQL is there, and MySQL is there. Mostly MS SQL is on by MS SQL is on by Microsoft, and you can most of the developers and the backend or front-end developers are using, or they developing with some kind of a database for their applications. So even if you take industries, they also everyone are using, because the database is the place where all the information getting stored. So yeah, that's the common usage of the database. So if you take SQL, yeah, absolutely, it's a tabular format, and as I told you before, it's coming with tables and the foreign key coming for it's a relationship between both tables, then its foreign key is coming to the picture. So that is about SQL. But as you know, SQL is getting usage is getting low, because if you are developed your application with SQL, and if your business are getting growth, it's become more headache to us, because of the scalability is a little bit problem between this scalability. Let's say, for example, if you want to add another field or something to your table, it's more difficult, because you need to set each and every data or value again for the newly added column. So likewise, there's problems coming. So that is the reason they introduced a NoSQL database. So what is this NoSQL database? So we already saw this SQL database, but now we are going to see the NoSQL database. So if you take a NoSQL database, it's just what we can say, it's just JSON object. So what, it's not showing a tabular format, it's just a JSON object. JSON object means it's just storing a key value pair. And let's say, for example, you have a object, simple object, and you can say that is a JavaScript notation. JSON mean that, right? So we store all the information in key value, right? Key mean, let's say your name, you are an object, you are the person, you are the object, you have object. So you have a name and date of birth and phone number, email, and everything, right? So we storing those informations, something like your name, then after that you are setting your name is like your Raheem, and date of birth is your database value. Likewise, we are storing as a JSON object. So if you take my NoSQL databases, so NoSQL databases, we having a lot of NoSQL databases. we can say that is NoSQL mean that is a document object model. But if you take SQL, that is relational database model. So that is what we are calling those NoSQL and SQL. But if you take a NoSQL, NoSQL having NoSQL database also have a lot of NoSQL database having. So one is MongoDB. MongoDB is one of the document object model, and it's coming. You can store your all the informations with the key value format, and also another product called, I'm talking about a popular product that is most popular among all the developers. So another one is Firebase. Firebase is a Google product you know about. So yeah, so that is also there. So I will show you those. First I will show you the MongoDB database. Here you can see, let me reset this one. I'm using MongoDB Atlas here. So MongoDB Atlas, I just for showing purpose I have created this one. And this is a sandbox, and Atlas is a cloud. So here you can see there's a two query I have. So this is my database, matrimony and DB, and I have one collection. So we can say this is a collections. So yeah, so this is a table means a collection. Sorry for. So we can say this is a collection, and we are not storing anything in. If you take we are not storing anything in a tabular view. This is just a JSON format and our collections. So you can see here you can filter anything with here there's an option for filtering, and you can, let me show you one querying method. So here we need to filter the post name that is equal to new at one. Let me show you post name, and I'm looking a value called new post 2. Let me apply and see how it getting queried. So here you can see I can see the result. So but there's a difference between this SQL and NoSQL. So the querying things, if you are let's say if you are using SQL database for your projects, so if your data getting grow, you need to join all the tables together using join command. So yeah, if you are joining all together and returning a data, it will taking more time, and query, for getting a query, it's basically more expensive. That's what I'm saying. But if you are go with for your project, if you are developing with what you call this NoSQL databases, it's good because querying also very fast than when compared to SQL database. But if you take SQL, that is coming with for querying the data, you are using DML, that is what we call data manipulation languages, and DDL is also that. DDL is stand for data definition language. So data definition language means if you are, let's say if you create a database in SQL, so relational database I am talking about. So that is DML data definition language, you can create using a command to create the tables. That is the reason DML is introduced. But if you take a DML, it's a data manipulation language. Maybe you used those thing in your life at least one time. So like for example, select all from table. We wrote some command for getting or manipulating a data from the table. Select all from commands and inserting records, insert and deleting. Those are the commands coming under data manipulation language. We shortly name called DML. So that is all about the SQL. But if you take a MongoDB or other NoSQL databases, they also having queries, but the query is a little bit different than others. I'm showing here this is a filter and all, but let me show you another product called Firebase. That is also a NoSQL database. You cannot see the table of tabular format there. So here this is one of my project. This is I have developed with a real-time database. This is I'm using for Firebase for the database as a backend database. So here you can see everything's stored as the structure, tree structure. So this is showing as a tree structure, and this is a JSON format. It's like a key and value pair. And also, if you are querying like this for your UI, or if you are writing a backend with a Node.js or something else, or we're using a different language like Java or something else, so you need to querying to manipulate the data here also. So it's like a db.collection. You can see the simple queries. So perform a simple compound query in the cloud file store. This is vary with these queries are vary with different cloud databases or no SQL databases. So if you take a MongoDB, that is different, but if you take a Firebase query, that is totally different. Here you can see, let me show you a simple query here. You can choose here whatever the framework you are using for the backend. You can select one of them and query in the database. So I'm using a Node.js, and for a Node.js we having this db.collections. db.collections means it's collecting a cities. So I told you the collections mean. So collections mean, if you I will show you that one. Collection means this. So this is our intro to the database, and we can see here the nested one. This is our collection. These are our collections. So this is what we call the collection. So we are getting this cities mean that collections, and where after that we are saying this is equal to this is how the database Firebase database queries look like. So likewise, if you are using this kind of no SQL databases, I'm using a cloud, so that is free up to certain point. If that limit is extend, then we need to pay for that. So that is there. Anyway, this is cost effective. I'm saying this one. This is a cost effective, and this is if the business is getting growth, very easy to we can manage, and very easy to scalable our databases. So that is the options we have. So that is what the difference between this SQL and no SQL databases. And if you want to so I'm always using the cloud one. So for the maybe for your development better to use if you are using a MongoDB or something, because MongoDB is mostly using a database for every industries. Most of the industries moves to MongoDB, and some of the people are still using this SQL database like MySQL and SQL servers and a lot more thing. But most of the companies are migrate to MongoDB. But I'm not saying here the SQL is going to be down, and this MongoDB and the NoSQL will be the future, because every whatever the applications or whatever the databases are coming, every database having a drawbacks and pros and cons, right? So that's the reason I'm saying today Mongo or NoSQL become a most popular database management system. But maybe tomorrow, after some, because of some these NoSQL pros and cons, because of that reason some of the new database will become, who know that, because we are living in the technology world. Everything's getting day by day updated, so we need to aware about that. So that is what my purpose and to create this video. So I would like to like you to know about this, what's the difference between this SQL and NoSQL database. That's the purpose I create this video. So future video I will definitely create how to use this MongoDB local and a lot more thing. So if you want to know something about this MongoDB or the NoSQL or SQL database things, you can put a comment. I will definitely reply to your comments. Yeah, that's all about this NoSQL and SQL database. Then we'll catch you on new video. Thank you.